any. My name is Cathy Yandeau. I am a band member of Matachewan First Nation. My project is on the elimination of herbicidal spraying within 15 townships surrounding our community, Matachewan First Nation. The sites I will be showing in the drone footage are the townships surrounding my community that has been stripped and contaminated by past, present forestry operations, which also has more plans of the same operations to continue in the future. I'm trying to show the people's identity right now. The identities are connected to the land. And this is what they're asking us to show. My goal is to get a bird's eye view and gather data on what is happening within our traditional territory, and to also produce a plan that will be acceptable for both the community and industry to be able to work together in a meaningful way without destroying our traditional way of life and the resources and environment that is an essential need for future generations. The community does not support the use of herbicides on our traditional territory. Matachewan First Nation's traditional territory are subject to herbicidal use in many forest activities. The herbicidal use activities affects including harming many beneficial plants such as cultural, ceremonial, and traditional medicine plants utilized by our band members like our ancestors have practiced in the past. My family's traditional camps where I grew up as a little girl, along with 4 other families, lived there also. There was like about 17 houses, I'm told, back in the day. We called this area the floating bridge. I had a nice little blueberry patch up on this little mountain. I thought it was a big mountain back then, but it's just a little rocky area, but it was my blueberry patch. I was only just a little girl, maybe 6 years old. When my father passed, that's where we buried him. I buried him in the blueberry patch. This is an area of clear cutting, which then they would go in and then have to do some type of herbicidal prep or spraying. They need to do this to kill off any of the competitive plants and trees so that only their merchantable trees can survive. There are many alternative and less destructive methods of achieving the desired forest benefits that would not impact our treaty rights to practice our cultural ways of life and connection to the land. Argyle was where all these families, they went there gathering. It was their gathering place, for teaching and for recreational. But if you take a look, what they're doing in here with this clear cutting, they're destroying not just the connection, but the history of these areas. During the field trip using the drone, I was able to see how much the forest operations were impacting the community members, such as the medicine trees are not coming back after they harvest, as they are the trees that get sprayed with the herbicide. They are the competition for what they call their merchantable wood. So because these stands are coming back as all jack pines, the forest beds have hardly no diversity of other plants that the animals can use for food. If you're not getting all these other plants coming back, what have they got to eat? They got to go different areas to eat. There's no way to know how many animals also are being sprayed, transferring the poison to the water and other vegetation, as the spraying is done by helicopters. They can't read signs. These are our animals. They're our creators' creations. They're all part of the whole chain of everything being connected. So clear cuts now, they can go for miles, which causes more spraying in one area, that causes very big social impact, such as moose calling. Within the entire range of however far that moose call goes is the entire area that's impacted, is connected to one single point where you're calling that moose. Within this whole range is how our identities are connected to whatever the range extends to, such as when we are calling moose, they have to travel through those clear cuts, which puts them in great harm's way. When they come across these sprayed areas, that could have just been sprayed, so they're picking up those contaminants and they're bringing it back to us. They have to travel through all of this. That's our food. So like the moose go through these open clear-cut fields, which is putting them more at risk from their predators, such as wolves and the bears. So when we're calling them in, they have to go through all these affected areas, which then is affecting our tradition and our ability to hunt and feed our families. So in the video, it shows all the water in the wetlands around the reserve boundary, because they are not allowed to come on the reserve lands to do their harvesting trees without our permission. But when you look at all the past harvest areas surrounding the boundary line and out, you can see there is so much wetlands and small lakes also that need to be protected. These wetlands, a lot of them are being dried up, and our beavers are becoming less and less because they're losing their homes. The moose population is way down, and they have white spots on their liver, which our elders and our knowledge keepers believe is a result of the herbicidal spraying. They don't take our elders, the indigenous knowledge, seriously, because it's not Western science. It's something they can't see. They can't see the spirits. Medicine pickers are frightened to pick these medicines, because of all the herbicidal spray and the prepping that they do, which causes them to have to venture further away to gather their medicines. This is very hard on our elders and the land users, our trappers. On the economic side of it, trappers and hunters are seeing a big decline of the fur-bearing animals on their trap ground. Marten cores are disbarring and don't seem to be returning. Birds are also becoming scarce. You used to be able to hear them everywhere. The loons on the waters, partridges. You just don't see it or hear them like the olden days. Well, from when I can remember anyways. I remember when I was a little girl, I would be out in the bush and I could hear many birds. And I used to hear the whippoorwills, which I don't hear anymore. You don't hear them. And the whippoorwills are on the endangered species list. So I hope to use this assignment as a land manager for my community, as I am currently sitting on two very important forest management planning units that surround our community. So I'm hoping to get them to see how much impact is happening to our community members, to our land users, to our youth, to our knowledge holders, to how we teach our youth. And as we are asked for our knowledge sitting at these planning tables, they never seem to be taken seriously. They believe in their Western science, and sometimes you can't see it you don't believe it. But that doesn't mean it's not there. The mighty, about it all being about the mighty buckwalk, that needs to change. It can't be about the cost. It's got to be about the environment. It's got to be about protecting these resources for our future generations, and not just for Indigenous, but for all the next generations to come. They need these resources for their future. They need these resources to grow, to learn. You take one thing out of the chain, and it changes everything. Thank you for listening, and if there's anything anyone wants to send to me that may help me in my journey, my mission here, it would be very much appreciated and would be taken very seriously. Thank you. Miigwech.